Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. Hasbro Pulse just put out a world first sneak preview of one of their most anticipated action figures of the year, the G.I. Joe Classified Series Deluxe Nemesis Immortal. Yeah, images of this thing just started turning up all over the internet, all over YouTube, and a lot of people were wondering where exactly was the video where they actually unveiled this thing. It turns out that they were actually doing an unboxing for the Stinger Classified Series vehicle. But at the end of that presentation, they just pulled out this Nemesis Immortal monster from nowhere. Okay, nobody was expecting this thing to turn up, right? And I gotta tell you, okay, this figure has been the source of a lot of speculation and even strife online. Okay, yeah, you guys might know what I'm talking about, right? For the last couple of weeks, okay, there's been a lot of discussion on this figure. Finally, we're seeing it. And I have to tell you, okay, the Nemesis Immortal, in fact, okay, more commonly known as the Nemesis Enforcer, based off his original appearance in the G.I. Joe animated movie from 1987. Now, this guy was always pretty big to begin with. In the classic animation, he was maybe about 9 feet tall. Okay, he was lean. He had muscles all around, that's for sure. Okay, but he was nowhere near as bulked up as this action figure makes him out to be. All right, this toy has him looking like the freaking Juggernaut. Okay, what do you guys think? Now look, I'm one of those guys that grew up in the 1980s reading every single copy of the Larry Hama G.I. Joe comic book, okay? I read all of that stuff. It was on my pull list, okay? And you know what? I started pretty late into the run, but I had to go back and try to retrace back all of the issues through reprints. They had those G.I. Joe digest books. They had those G.I. Joe magazines. They had the Tales of G.I. Joe. They would reprint all the old stories. And you know what? For the longest time, G.I. Joe has always been one of those things that has been deeply rooted in realism, okay, in terms of their soldiers, the characters, the weaponry, the vehicles, all of that stuff, okay. But when it came to G.I. Joe, the movie, which by the way, I honestly do love, okay, I was already a big fan of Don Johnson at the time because he was Sonny Crockett on Miami Vice, right, my all-time favorite cop show. And when I found out that he was playing the main lead of Lieutenant Falcon in G.I. Joe the movie, I was like, hell yeah. Where do I sign up for this thing, Captain? So, you know what? Don Johnson was great in the movie. The movie is overall just fantastic, okay? It still holds up today. It's worth a rewatch if you haven't seen it in a long time. It doesn't get mentioned in the same breath as something like Transformers the movie that's also from 1987. But G.I. Joe the movie is still ridiculously fun. Guys, if you haven't watched it in a long time, do yourself a favor, give it a rewatch today. However, guys, okay, G.I. Joe the movie is also the turning point in which all of that realism that I just mentioned earlier in the G.I. Joe franchise, all of that stuff gets thrown straight out the window and there was no turning back, all right? Now, in the comics, there were moments where reality was stretched. Okay, we did have stuff like robots, androids, things like that. Some parts of it was pretty science fiction, I gotta admit. But there was never anything that was too fantastical, supernatural, or anything that involved mutated monsters like the Nemesis Enforcer. The minute you introduce something like the Nemesis Enforcer, that's it, okay? There's no turning back, okay, to any of the realism that you've established in the franchise. So I always felt that stuff like this didn't really belong in the G.I. Joe universe. Having said that, this is a pretty popular character and they've found a way to actually incorporate him into the modern mythology of G.I. Joe thanks to his recent appearance in the comics. Okay, so Skybound Entertainment is handling the G.I. Joe license in comics. They've brought back the Nemesis Enforcer in a big way. I don't really think that it's a spoiler at this point because they've already covered it in the comic book press that the Nemesis Enforcer returns in the Cobra Commander miniseries, okay? So yeah, this guy is having a pretty big year. We also get more additional visuals of the Nemesis Immortal from the artwork that's on the sides of the package, definitely presenting him as something that's truly terrifying and monstrous. Some people were wondering, I saw in the comments, why is he actually in fact called the Nemesis Immortal when he was in fact the Nemesis Enforcer? There's probably some rights issues because if you think back to it, back in the 25th anniversary of the Joe franchise, back in 2007, where they would release these special anniversary comic book 2-packs, okay, where you would get 2 figures with accessories plus a comic book, all right? All for a ridiculously low price, a deal that we'll never see again, right, in this day and age. But yeah, they had this special Nemesis Immortal and Lieutenant Falcon 2-pack. As you can see, even back then, back in 2008, he was already being called the Nemesis Immortal. So definitely some rights issues were there, I think. Anyway, I do have this set someplace in storage. Okay, I'm going to have to dig it up for a throwback review pretty soon. Now, this particular set, we don't get to see a lot of it, but from the back of the box here, We can confirm that probably he comes with those green tentacles, okay, that's supposed to attach to his back, okay, not just the wings, but also the green tentacles. He does have an alternate helmeted head, okay. The helmeted head kind of reminds me more of the Juggernaut again, okay, but this time from the X-Men 3 movie, all right, the one from what, 2006 was it? That's right, okay, kind of reminds me of that one, all right. But anyway, he's got two heads, a bunch of alternate hands for sure. I'm not really sure what else the package comes with. We're going to have to wait until SDCC 2024 to get more details on this set. That's what the Joe team at Hasbro Pulse has promised us. But in the meantime, I want to hear your thoughts on what you think of this new massive Nemesis Immortal action figure. For me personally, like I said, none of this stuff really has anything to do with G.I. Joe at all. It never should have, okay? Cobra Commander should never have been a snake underneath the helmet all along. Okay, none of that should have happened, all right? But it did happen. And basically, this stuff is from a time from our childhood that's just freaking nostalgic. When I think of something like this, it is nostalgic. I do like the character just for what it is, okay, not necessarily tied into the G.I. Joe universe. So as an action figure by itself, you know, the fact that it's just massive, it's got some cool looking accessories, those humongous wings, you know, all that stuff, I think that he's pretty good looking. All right, but let me know in the comments what you guys think about him, and I'll catch you guys again real soon with more content right here. Thank you, and take care out there.